what to say after 2 days of what I found very interesting discussions. The first thing is, get your mobile phone ready so long, please. Because, as also threatened you yesterday morning, we'll take a quick pulse test again today. Now, while I get the question round on pulse, I've been asked to quickly summarize what happened over the last 2 days. And as Barra said, it's an interesting but also a very difficult part to summarize. I see this in 3 parts. The easy part was yesterday early morning when Andrew started with the discussion with the insurance industry. I think that's something that we have been leaving aside, but certainly we need to interface more with that industry just to deal with the mitigation effects of whatever comes in this climate change environment. So that was an interesting, I think, short-term win for us. Then we had this discussion around technology pathways. Again, that I think reconfirmed my view that there are multiple routes towards whether we call it decarbonisation, Paul, or whether we call it just making steel with a lower CO2 intensity, and therefore we are more efficient from a CO2 perspective. But I think there are multiple routes on how we can do this. There are raw material constraints, there are energy constraints, and we came back essentially to that part in this afternoon session. And Paul, personally, if it was within my power to hand out a prize for the presentation of the series, I would have given it to you, because I really think your evaluation on the energy costs and the energy market was quite blunt in its realism. So thank you for that, and I think continue with that work. Don't let us stop you in telling the truth. I think what this tells me, though, the summary that I have came partly out of the session yesterday. It's been reconfirmed today. As an industry, I'm actually stepping away here with quite a reasonable surety that we are going to produce or reduce the amount of CO2 that we put into the atmosphere by quite a substantial amount over the next 15 years or so. If I take John's figures, coming down from a current emissions every year of 3.6 billion tons of CO2, down to a future emission level of somewhere around 2.7 billion tons per year, I'm happy to take that. Thank you very much. Whether we call it decarbonisation, whether we call it efficient production, still I will take it, and I'm happy to say to the steel industry and to others, yes, we are not yet at this long-term goal of net zero. Some of us might be, as producers, close to net zero by 2050. Some countries might be close to net zero by 2050. But I cannot say with a hand on my heart, our industry will be by net zero by 2050. And I think we have to realize this. But I'm quite happy to say we'll be 30%, 40% better than we are now, and show me another industry that can do that in the next 15 years. That brings me to two what I found to be intellectually quite interesting discussions yesterday, the discussion also that you had around border adjustment mechanisms, which I really enjoyed intellectually. It was, I think, a very open discussion, a very frank discussion, and I'm not sure yet what I make out of it, to be honest. And it's a little bit the same thing about this morning's discussions on common metrics, common measurements, and the discussion on chain of custody. Again, intellectually quite interesting. The pathway of what we need to do is, for me, at the moment, as clear as mud. I don't know what is the right thing to do going forward, but clearly there's lots and lots of thinking to be done, and there is lots and lots of exploration to be done about what does our compatriot material industries do, what does the customers do. I think the inputs from IKEA was quite relevant and very, very interesting, and therefore I think that was a useful discussion. 2 years ago, when we discussed this issue also, do we have another open forum? I said, I really don't want another one that is just like Shrek 3, the same story in a different vernacular. I can honestly say this was not Shrek 3. I really enjoyed it. Thank you very, very much. Now, let's see whether you've all listened very carefully. go back again to your mobile phones, go to the app, the worldsteel app. Oh, it will say it again, okay. Yeah, well, do this, and then you do, no, not that. Yeah, you do this bit. So go right down to this last session of the day. It's called closing session. And then we go down to polls, and then you should have 2 questions. Let's deal with the first question. Where are we in the story? Now, this is the same question that we had yesterday morning. Let's see what we say to ourselves now. Let's answer the first question. Okay. And let's see. Early chapters seems to be most people think we're sort of early in the game. I personally thought we're a bit more closer to midway. There's progress, clear tensions ahead, but that's good. It's a different answer to what we had yesterday morning, I think. It's not precisely the same question, if I remember well, but nevertheless, I think what is for me useful is yesterday morning A and B were the majority of the outcomes, and it's again A and B is the majority of the outcomes. So our next question, let's do the next one with the final question, which is the second one. How well do you understand the story so far? And I have answered my question. Oh, this is a different one. We have a clear view where we are. I think yesterday that was the second best. Yesterday morning, we all said we understand the main developments. So there's been some progress. I don't know whether we shifted your mindsets or whether we just understand the pulse technology better this time around. But nevertheless, I really want to again thank really all the panelists, all the speakers, and all of you that participated from the floor, I think, towards a very, very rich discussion, and I think something where at least we've expanded the boundaries on what we understand to be the realistic situation where we are at the moment. We know we are not out of the woods, but I walk away with a clear sense, and actually quite an optimism, that we're on the way, and we have various alternatives to follow going forward, which will lead to a future lower emission factor from this industry. And that is good for society as a whole. What is also good for economic society as a whole, that we know the steel industry is one of these enabling industries that you just need in every economy. For every $1 that we invest in the steel industry, there's another $4 being invested either in supporting industries to the steel industry or in those industries that are using steel. So we have a multiplier effect of 1 to 4 for every dollar that we invest in our industry. So that's good. Employment, we also have similar figures. For every 1 person that we employ in the steel industry, we create or support another 7 to 8 jobs elsewhere in the economic system. So if we are saying we are going to continue to grow, we're going to be around because we earn the right to be around, because we become more efficient in terms of CO2, then I say we're also playing this unintended role of supporting economic progress, which is good for society as a whole. I've read yesterday there's significant concerns in some economies that we may be reaching the peak of the global environment, curve for people, and new births seem to be very, very difficult, not only in developed economies, but also in developing economies. And this is a key question for all of us to ask going forward. How do we grow? Economically, we only grow because we make more of the same stuff. And this is what we've been doing from the Industrial Revolution onwards. We had more people using more stuff. Or we grow because we are more efficient in what we do. We become more productive. And as global society begins to become smaller, we really have only one growth source left, and that is to become more efficient with everything that we do, because we cannot sell more of the same stuff to more people. There are fewer and fewer and fewer people. So economic growth is going to become a significant challenge for all of us. On top of that, we have this CO2 emission story that we have to look at, and we have to improve the quality of life for individuals. I think we're in an industry that can do all three of those, and the discussions over the last 2 days give me personally lots and lots of optimism that there is movement and that there is a healthy future for this industry. I'm going to retire by December this year, so it's not going to be my worry, but I will certainly watch what you guys are doing. Thank you very much. And then finally, also have asked me to let you know there will be coffee and tea outside. If you want to hang around, you're more than welcome to. We've paid for the room till the end of the day. So abuse it, use the coffee, and have a continuation of the discussion. Thank you again for all your inputs.
Let me just say a few final words as well. First of all, thanks. I don't want to repeat everything that Edwin said. Thank you so much to all of you. Just to remind you that we're posting all the presentations basically immediately on the website and in the app. And all the recordings of all the sessions will be put on the website as well as soon as we've been able to, edit and stuff like that. So do please share these sessions. I mean, this is an open forum in the sense that we've invited anyone to come and join us here, but the room is limited, as we know. So if there is something here that you heard that you want to share with colleagues or others, please do send them the link and invite them to have a look at these sessions. And if there's any ideas, thoughts you have, should we do this again? And what should we be talking about next time? Any kind of input and so on, we would very much like to hear from you. So thanks again from my side.